So this is a mini flux capacitor from Back to the Future. Unfortunately, it can't travel through time, but it can talk to Home Assistant. Today I'm going to run through exactly how I built it. So I think we can all agree that every smart home needs lights, it needs sensors, but what every smart home seems to be missing is a flux capacitor. So I took this Back to the Future mini flux capacitor, added an ESP microcontroller, connected to the Home Assistant using ESPHome, and even created some custom flux capacitor icons for my dashboard and my ESP32 office panel. So in this video I'm going to run through the wiring, how I set it up at ESPHome, some of the automations that I'll be using it for, as well as how I created the custom icons for the dashboard and the ESP32 display. These are some of the automations that I tried out. So my original idea was to have the flux capacitor turn on when I walked into my office. But as you can probably imagine, that got really annoying very quickly. Then I thought my custom alarm automation is actually missing a siren, so maybe it could be used for that. But honestly, this felt like a bit of a waste. I kind of wanted to use it for something else. What I ended up settling on was adding it to my washing machine automation. So now when my washing's done, I get a notification on my phone, on my HomePods,
the washing machine has finished,
and on the flux capacitor. Let's get started with the flux capacitor's PCB. To get at this PCB, there's 4 screws here at the back that we need to take out. So I'll show the wiring layout on a diagram now. So please excuse the crudity of this model. I didn't have time to build it to scale. But as you can see here on the board, we have plus B and minus B, which is the positive and negative. And the plus B goes to the 3 volt, while the minus B goes to the ground. And the D1 then goes to the resistor, and the resistor then goes to the base on the transistor. And then the emitter and the collector then go to the keys on the PCB. I'll show you how this looks now, but don't judge me on my awful soldering and wiring job. So I did use a D1 Mini for this, but you could use any microcontroller that's Wi-Fi enabled. I would suggest if you are buying them to buy at least 2 or 3 because I end up breaking one. And no wonder this thing broke. It's made in Japan. I did have to remove the solder here just to kind of get rid of the battery pieces. This meant I could detach it from the plastic casing too. I also created some holes in the casing as well so you could pass the wires through. Let's run through setting this up with ESPHome in Home Assistant. The first thing you need to do is go to ESPHome Builder. If you don't have that installed, go to Settings, Apps, Install App, and then just search for ESPHome and you should see it. There it is there. It's also a good idea to have Start on Boot, Watchdog, and Show in Sidebar enabled. So back in ESPHome, if you click New Device, and Continue, and then New Device Setup, just give your device a name. Call it like Flux Capacitor. I don't know, what kind of stupid name is that? Then press Next and search for your device. I'm going to select the D1 Mini because that's what I'm using. Then just press Next and then skip the installation. So if you click Edit on the config file that you created, and in here we're just going to have to add 2 small things. I'll leave a link for this in the description, but we're going to have to just add at the bottom here the switch and the button. Then just paste that into your file here. For the switch, the only thing you might want to change is the pin, which I have set to D1. You can see that here, that's the blue line here. For the button as well, you can change the name and the icon, or you can leave it as is. You'll also need to configure your secrets for your Wi-Fi password and username. That can be done here in Secrets, and you just set it up here at the top. Once that's done, you just need to click these little dots here, install, and then plugged into this computer, and you just need to wait for this to finish. This might take a bit of time. At this point, you'll need to make sure your D1 Mini is connected to your computer. Once that has finished, if you just click download, and then you're going to need to open ESPHome web, connect, select the USB port, connect again, then press install, and just search for that file then on your computer, and then install. Now this might take a few minutes for it to set up. Then once it has finished, just press close, and then you'll need to go back to settings, devices and services, and then you should see here, just press add. If you just click into it, you should see the button here available and you can press it. And that just acts the same as the button on the device. Okay, so let's take a look at adding some custom icons next. Okay, so I have this button here on my dashboard, which when you press it turns on and off the flux capacitor. And this is a simple enough button, but I was able to create this custom icon for it. Let me show you how I did that. So you're going to need Hacks installed. And if you go to Hacks, then just search for a integration called Custom Icons. I already have it installed and downloaded, but you just need to click download here, or I have re-download. Like, this is a pretty powerful add-on with lots of different icons, but it also allows you to add your own custom ones as well. Once you have it downloaded, if you go to settings, devices and services, add integration, and then just search for custom icons, you can add it there. I already have it, so I'm just going to click here. Okay, so if you just click the settings wheel here, you can see then there's a section here about setting a local icon, and I have the flux capacitor there. You just need to make sure that's ticked. There's a bunch of different icons in here, loads of stuff you can set, but I'm not going to go through it all today. Okay, so you need to go to File Manager now. If you don't have File Manager installed, go to Settings, Apps, click Install App at the bottom, and then you can search for File Manager. There it is there. Yep, and then if you just click Open Web UI once it's installed. So you need to go to the root directory here and search for a folder called Custom Icons. If you don't have that folder, you can just create it. So in here, you're just going to press Upload, search for the file. It needs to be an SVG file that you need to use. So if you just select this, you can download these from anywhere on the internet. Just Google them and you'll find a bunch of free ones. Now, if we go back to the custom icons, now we just need to press reload here. And this may take a bit of time, but once it's finished, you should see the icon there. It's not very visible here, but you can see I have two now. Let's go back to the dashboard now and try use that. So if you click edit at the top, edit, and you need to put in the prefix local before it. Now you should see it there. And that's basically how you add a custom icon. It's not the best one, but there you go. So now I'm going to run through how you can add a custom icon to ESPHome so it can be used on your devices like this one here. So to create this icon, you're going to need to convert an SVG file into a font file. I'll leave a link for this website in the description below. So once you have your SVG, you just need to drop it in here. I wouldn't worry about this error, it happens sometimes, I don't really know what it is to be honest. So you're going to need to give this a default code. So I'm just going to give it 801 and then just save. And then here you give it a name, so I'm going to call it Marty McFly. You need to select this here, so then the download button becomes available. Then just click download. That should download the file then. So you should have this zip file downloaded then. Just unzip it, open. If you go into fonts then, and you'll see the file here, it's the TTF one. So we just need to upload this now. So if you go into the file editor, and then go to search for ESPHome, and you want to search for a folder called fonts. If it doesn't exist, you'll need to create one. One didn't exist for me. And then you'll just need to upload that TTF file here. Now we need to go into ESPHome Builder. So this is all updated since I was last here, but you need to click edit, and then we need to change this file here. So I've already done it for the flux capacitor, so I'm just going to show you the changes. I'm going to copy this and do it for Marty. And then this number in here is going to be that 801 that we changed earlier, if you remember. Now we just need to add a reference at the bottom of the file as well. I'll leave a link to these in the description as well, just as examples. So this is obviously the file path. I'm going to change that to Marty McFly. The ID as well, Marty McFly font. That's the size. I want it to be like a big icon. If you want it to be normal size, I think it's like 40, but I want it to be 100 because I'm going to have it in the middle of the button. Oh, and this number needs to be that code up here at the top as well. So you just copy this. Okay, and now we can use this icon. Let's go use it. So there's just two things you need to set. You need to set the icon font, and you need to set the icon. That's it. Okay, so let's test it and see what it looks like. I have to say I'm liking this new UI of the ESPHome builder. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's probably not the best icon example in the world, but yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful, and please consider liking and subscribing. And if you do try adding the flux capacitor to Home Assistant, or even just adding the custom icons, remember, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.